And because the mayor was just on, our next guest has asked us to refer to him as his worship as well, which we are proud to do.
And we actually may realistically have to, because he's taking over the mayor's chair for a couple hours at least. Fred Lee joining us, Urban Rush theater reviewer and future mayor of Vancouver. What are you doing? You're sitting in Gregor's chair? This is...
Yeah, it's a part of a panel discussion to kick off the Out Games and Pride festivities next week.
And you're moderating that?
And I'm moderating. So everyone will have to call me their worship.
Can you decree any laws at that point? Can you say anything?
You know, I'm just going to declare Vancouver the city of fun.
Thank you.
Yes, the city of fun.
City of fun.
But
Yes.
the best part was Gregor didn't know you were sitting in his chair, and he just found out when you two crossed paths outside of the studio. He goes, you're doing what in my chair?
He's actually going to warm up the chair for me. So he's my personal fluffer.
There you go.
There you go.
Oh, nice.
Okay, we have to talk about theater.
Yes,
First
theater.
and foremost, we're going to talk about Bard on the Beach.
Yeah.
Merchant of Venice.
Yes, summer theater season has begun. Merchant of Venice. You know, Shakespeare's probably more controversial play. Most of us know Merchant of Venice as the anti-Semitic play, you know, and it really focuses on the character Shylock.
Yeah.
And but what I love about what Rachel Dieter has done, who directs this play, is that she really brings the merchant in the Merchant of Venice forward, and that is Antonio. So basically, Antonio is the person that has lent his friend Bassanio 3,000 ducats, because Bassanio wants to...
That's a lot of ducats.
That is a lot of ducats. Bassanio wants to woo his love, Portia. Unfortunately, Antonio's business is out to sea, so to secure the money for Bassanio, he has to go to his dreaded moneylender, which is Shylock, which is played brilliantly by Richard Newman. And so essentially that is the story.
Yeah.
What Rachel Dieter has really done is focused on Antonio. In the beginning, we really get the sense that there is this sort of relationship between him and Bassanio. I think he has a little crush on him. But of course it's unrequited, because, you know, Bassanio is espousing his love for Portia. But, you know, regardless, he's going to do everything he possibly can, risking life and a pound of flesh to get this 3,000 ducats from Antonio. Of course, sadly, his ships do not come in.
They do not.
And Shylock demands a pound of flesh. And so for a lot of people, it's a very uncomfortable play because it has this anti-Semitic theme.
Yeah.
But I think Dieter, you know, does a great job of just bringing it head on. And, you know, the thing about theater is it really gives you a sense of historical.
I was going to say, you have to place yourself within the context of the play and the time of the play and the reality of the world at that stage.
And theater is meant to make that person in that seat squirm a bit, think a bit. And I think Dieter does that brilliantly.
Yeah.
I also think Duncan Fraser does a great job as Antonio. I think the very handsome and capable Charles Gallant does a great job as well, as Bassanio, and Lindsay Angel as Portia. It is just a beautiful, beautiful production.
Nice.
Now, of course, this plays on the main stage in repertoire with As You Like It.
Yep.
And so it's essentially the same cast that does both plays. I think they do a much better job, much better job in The Merchant of Venice.
So like it, love it, or duck it?
You know what? I am going to tell Rachel that I loved it.
Really?
I loved it.
Huzzah.
I really, really loved
And
it.
for look at how happy you
You know what?
are.
Loved it doesn't happen very often,
No,
Fred,
it
with you.
doesn't. But I really think she did a great job. I think it's done brilliantly on stage. I just think there's some great comic relief as well to balance this very tough subject. But I think
the setting
it.
and the costuming that they have at Bard on the Beach sure doesn't hurt.
No, Mara Gottler does a great job with the costumes. You know, I think it's Gerald King that does the lighting, and it's done really well in a new stage, a new tent. With all those challenges, they did a great job.
Very nice. Now,
Yes!
Theater Under the Stars, and a friend of mine went to see the production the other day, and it rained, of course, but it did not daunt the audience. They stuck through it, which is so Vancouver.
I think I was in that audience.
Oh, okay,
I was calling it Theater Under the Clouds.
Yeah, the garbage bags were out.
You know, kudos to them for thinking of handing out everyone ponchos. I've never worn a poncho before.
They're kind of steamy.
Yeah, I mean, it did keep you warm. You know, Juan Valdez would have been very proud and would have fit right in. What can I say? It's the 65th season, Theater Under the Stars. It's a great summer tradition for locals and tourists. Bye Bye Birdie and theater and
Anything
Goes by Cole Porter.
This is anything goes.
And this is anything goes. Beautiful sets. You know, what I have to say is, you know, it's a crazy story. It's a wacky story. You know, there is a stowaway, there is a debutante, there is a gangster, but essentially this play is about the music. And Cole Porter's great music. There's some great ditties. It's The Lovely, Blow Gabriel, Blow. And Irene Cara does a great job in the star role that made Ethel Merman famous back in the days. And she just has this great brassy voice and just belts it out, baby. Just belts it out.
And for those who haven't been to Theatre Under the Stars, it used to be a family tradition for my family. It is such a great experience to go and see it.
And I have to applaud those folks. Even in the pouring rain, they were having their picnics and they had blankets. I don't get it, but good for them for soldiering on.
At least they didn't have to bring water.
I know. There were some
there.
I mean, it's basically amateur theater. There's about 3 actors who are the leads, and they are from Equity, but essentially it's this ensemble cast. And can you imagine tap dancing on a wet stage? Not the easiest thing to do. Not the easiest thing to do. You know, I thought Irene did a great job. I mean, she really stole the show for me. Todd Talbot, always great, you know, doing the tap dancing on stage, and with his love interest, Lauren Bowler, who plays the debutante, who is forced to, you know, by following her mom's guidance, has to marry this English millionaire, and of course Todd is trying to convince her otherwise. It all happens on this crazy ship with some crazy characters, some really oddballs, but you know what? It's a lot of fun. There's some really, really corny jokes.
Liked it,
it really
loved it,
talks
hated
about the period, but for all of its, you know, misgivings, I liked it.
Very nice.
I liked it. I liked it. Oh, there you go. I love the
I love the added graphics today. This is lovely.
I know.
And last but not least, we want to talk about the Arts Club presenting A Walk with Patsy Cline.
Okay, Dean Regan's musical review. You know what? I'm going to start off by saying Sarah Jean Hosey does a great job as Patsy Cline.
Tough thing to do.
She belts out 22 songs that made Patsy famous.
22 songs.
22 songs. You know, so kudos to her. Here's my problem with this show. There isn't much theater. It's really a concert. It is really Sarah Jean singing 22 of her greatest hits. It is so light on story. There is essentially no
I was going to say,
plot.
Anything? Did they try and string it through?
You learned that she had 2 relationships. The first one was tougher. You learned that she met a tragic ending, but in between, Shane Snow does very little in terms of direction, or he has very little to work with in terms of storyline.
Right.
It's basically Sarah Jean and this person who plays the DJ. He's literally the narrator that moves this musical sort of voyage along.
And this is something the Arts Club has done before.
Yes. I mean, it's been mounted like 100 times, you know?
It's always the same way every time?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very simple set. It's like a $5 set. I mean, you know, basically transitions from her life is posted on a screen above this, you know, cookie cutter barn. You have a band in the background that plays that performs capably, but you know, it's a little dusty. And I have to say, with the exception of one band member, they were all, it was like watching Gramps up there. You know, so, you know, make it a little more exciting.
Freshen it up.
Freshen it up. Throw in some choreography. I know it means spending a little more money, but you know, the direction literally was Sarah Jean or Patsy Cline moving around in different parts of the barn singing the song. And then there's some really bad jokes, the intro from the DJ.
Or skip the bad jokes in the DJ and just say
bring a little hee-haw into it as you go.
You know, if you're trying to build new audiences, you know, it's really tough when they come and they see this. It is just.
Okay.
I'm
scared.
I know.
Because I don't know what the graphic is going to look like.
Liked it.
Liked it. Loved it.
Hated it.
I hated it. I'm really sorry.
I don't know.
Oh my goodness. And you know, I feel terrible because I think Sarah Jean does a great job singing. She does a great job singing these ditties.
But just the production is not
the production values are terrible. The corny ending. I don't want to give away the corny ending.
Well, Fred,
but it's
like
so
you
corny.
say, if you want to attract new audiences to theater, I mean, stodgy is the last route to go. And it, you know, if you're putting on the same production year after year, why not shake it up a little bit?
And even having said that I hated it, it's being held over to August 13th. So there is an audience that really appreciates the music.
People love Patsy Cline.
They love
no
Patsy
question.
Cline, and you know they're going for Patsy Cline and her music. I look at that audience, you know.
That's it. it. We're
That's
out
it?
of time.
All right.
I'm calling it right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, he doesn't usually get
Fred,
bossy.
Thank you. I know someone had to take charge of this because you two, when you get together.
Really?
Oh my God. I'm just sitting here, just hanging out, trying to get a word in every now and then.
It's all yours.
Hated it.